Hi, James here. Welcome back to the Final Flight podcast, where we're going to go through the second half of Punchestown Festival, finishing off the jump season. We've got a little bit of a mention for a couple of flat races on the Friday at Sandown and the jumps finale on Saturday. Are you excited for the second half of the week, Joe?
Definitely, mate. Some brilliant horses like the first half of running. Some classy horses as well. And we might get a few telltale signs as to where these horses may be heading or maybe working towards for next season. And also, we've got a couple of flat races to mention as well. There's some deep races in there, so I can't wait to speak about them.
Yeah, mate, we'll get onto them shortly. Punchestown Day 4 kicks us off for this episode. The 450, the Mares Chase, 2 mile 5, Allegory de Vasse is in here, LMA, Impervious is back. Which one are you going for? Have you managed to have a quick look?
I have, mate, and I'm going for Impervious again. I love the way this horse, runs, battles, stays, jumps, everything. Only a small horse. But for me, the most important thing when I always watch Impervious, she always looks pretty comfortable at the line, which I think is very important. She seems to know where the line is and knows how to win a race. That Cheltenham was so impressive for me after the final jump, where I was in the pub. All the lads jumped up and back to Allegory de Vasse, and then Impervious just come back on the inside. And I just thought, for me, it's a horse, loves a battle, loves to jump, loves horse racing in general, and that's why Impervious will be my pick. What your thoughts?
I completely agree, mate. 2 mile 5. I think she's the best stayer in this race. She's probably the best horse in this race. I don't think Allegory de Vasse needs to drop down in trip. She's obviously been beaten again. She stepped up to 2 mile 5 after the Cheltenham Festival at Fairyhouse, and she got beat by Instit, which to me, and she got beat quite well, and that's just terrible form. And I just think Impervious is the classy mare in this race. She's fantastic for JP, and I think she's just going to go win. And it's one of them where, again, I think she probably will be quite a short price. I'm not too sure what the prices are now, but she's beating everything in front of her over fences, and I'm excited to see her go win again and finish the season unbeaten. And I think she'll go on to probably win another Mares Chase next year, because something's going to have to come out of the woodwork to beat, and I'm not sure something's going to do. I think she's exceptional, and the step up in trip here, another furlong's all they're going to do. Her service is only going to help her even more. Do you know what I mean? So I think I'm in agreement with you. Impervious is going to win the Mares Chase on day 4.
Definitely, mate.
Right, the big one on this day, the Champion Hurdle, the Punchestown Champion Hurdle. And again, it's one of them. We're looking at another short price favourite. State Man currently 2-5 on. Vauban 5-1. Piper 6-1. Sharjah, Zana here, Echoes in Rain. And I'm not going to mention the rest. Do you think State Man's just going to win again? Are we looking at a tasty double for the 4th day?
Yeah, mate. I mean, should be winning this. The way the Mullins camp sort of talk about State Man, should be winning this pretty comfortably, to be honest, for me. There's no shame in getting beat by Constitution Hill, is there? No. Beats anybody. It's State Man really to, sort of make it known now that, I am the best crop of the Irish. Not that he hasn't, because I don't think an Irish horse has beat him in the last few runs. The only mention for me, and I'm still clinging on because I love the horse, is Vauban. I would probably give this one a bet without, because a lot of the others, I'll just check. Yeah, they have. A lot of them ran at Aintree. Vauban got put away. I don't think he was right at Cheltenham. It was, pretty horrendous ground, which sort of suited Constitution Hill. He hasn't had that many runs this season, so should improve from that. Piper, who was 3rd in the market, Vauban showed it last year. He beat him time again. So that would be, for me, if I was having a bet in this race, it would be Vauban without State Man. But for me, I'll just be watching and probably watch another Willie Mullins, Paul Townend procession.
Yeah, I think State Man's going to go win this quite convincingly, but I think Vauban probably is the pick to follow him home and improve a little bit. And I think we're probably not seeing the best of Vauban. Might do next year once he's had another year under his belt. We shall see, because he's got potential. But it's always tough for them triumph horses to come into a season and do well straight away. So we'll see what happens to him in the future. But yeah, State Man, another winner, another Grade 1 winning ride for Paul Townend, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
Another race, 6 o'clock. We had a little look at this one. There's another champion novice hurdle, the 2 mile 3, and I think obviously we're getting into the realms now of a lot of things. There's a lot more entries in there. We're not too sure what's running where. We've not really got any prices, so we'll just try and get through it as best we can. But I do think Imperial Pass is probably going to run here.
Yeah,
maybe the likes of Champ Kylie might run as well against him. So it'll be interesting to see what turns up. But there's a few in here that obviously aren't going to turn up. And I think, again, Imperial Pass is going to be a short price favourite, probably very, very short here. I'll be surprised if he's at 1-2, 1-3 on, and I think he's going to win because I do think he looks an exceptional horse. He looks like he could be a champion hurdle horse next season. We would have had a bit of an idea what's going to go where if they'd have faced with like some Marine National, but we aren't going to get them clashes till next season now. So it'll all be up in the air. Who goes chasing, who goes champion hurdle and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see. But again, short and sharp, I think Imperial Pass is going to win this. And I think somebody like Champ Kylie could probably follow him home.
Yeah, mate, definitely. I mean, there's not much to add to that, really. I think anyone looking into the race, even people who are just looking blindly can see, Imperial Pass, will be and should be and deserves to be the short price favourite that we all predict. And you can't say much, really, can you? Like you say, I think he'll definitely run because of him not going and facing, what would have been probably the race of the festival, Marine National, Facile Vega, etc. So they've landed him here, which is probably, looking at it, a bit of an easier race for him to finish off the season, pick up some prize money, and then go into next year strong. And we'll see where he lands. Probably the champion hurdle. Will he be facing Constitution Hill? Who knows?
No, I think Constitution Hill's going to go chasing. I hope, and I think it'll be Marine National, Constitution Hill Arkle. I think it'll be some race that.
Yeah.
But yeah, super excited. Imperial Pass as well. We shall see where they all go next season. The only other race I thought I'd maybe give a mention to was the 10-7, the novice hurdle, the international novice hurdle over 2 mile. So you could see the return of Grange Clare West is in here, Firm Footings, Arctic Brazil. There's some nice types in here, Night and Days potentially in here. So I'll just sort of give a mention to Grange Clare West. This horse obviously looked quite impressive on his reappearance after a very long layoff at Navan, where he bolted up in a 2 mile 4 maiden, but he then sort of was a little bit disappointing at Naas against the likes of Champ Kylie and Irish Point. But obviously, as we know, that's really good form. They are really good horses. And again, he sort of didn't run very well at the Dublin Racing Festival. But I'm willing to give him a little bit of a chance. And he's just a bit of a mention, really. Grange Clare West. I quite like this horse, and I think if it's dropped down to 2 mile, might suit him. Get him to settle, and I think he'll go pretty close if he turns up. But that's just a bit of a mention, really. Have you got anything else for day 4 you want to mention before I move on?
No, not really, mate. To be fair, I'd probably give Monbeg Park a little mention. Disqualified the last day. Not much really. It's probably got the most solid form and the most consistent form in the book. If Grange Clare West improves on its form from the last day, like you mentioned, should go and win this. Should be another Mullins winner. And, as you look through the card, the more and more you look, and the horses you've written down in the notes you've got, just Mullins, really, isn't it?
I think somebody mentioned on socials it was something like 33-1 to win all the grade 1s at the festival, which you won't put it past him winning them all, to be fair. He's got a chance in every single one.
No, you won't.
There'll be some muggy hackers flying about, no doubt, all over Twitter.
Definitely, mate. Definitely.
Right, the final day then of Punchestown Festival, and I've only really got two of the races sort of priced up with entries in here, but we'll have a look at them anyway. One of them is a belting race, to be fair, and it's the 350 on Saturday, and it's the Mayor's Champion Hurdle, and it's actually a belting race. Brandy Love's back in here, Echoes in Rain, Epaton, Love Envoi, Marie's Rock is back in here. I think this is a really nice race. Theatre Glory's in there, for Nicky Henderson. And I'm going to give the enigma that is Brandy Love one more chance on my list. I'm going to let her hopefully be ridden. Hopefully be ridden a lot. Brandy Love. Hopefully be ridden a lot better this time round. And she's come on for another run, and hopefully she'll be cherry ripe for this. And I think the likes of Epaton, Marie's Rock, and that backing up again from entry will be tough. Love Envoy, probably the only one who's got the bigger chance of winning. So I think it'll be between Love Envoy and Brandy Love. And I'm just going to give Brandy Love one more chance because I think it's one of them where if she's come on for that run, she was obviously running a little bit out the back. It didn't really like she was in it much. And I think she's going to go real close. As long as she gets a bit of cover and she's not too keen and she can get somebody on the left hand on her side and keep her in tight, I think she's got a chance to go close. And I'm going to give her one more chance.
Yeah, I'm completely the same, mate. Like you say, it was she sort of reappeared, giving weight away, and not, I thought ran creditably. Then come to Cheltenham, and I wasn't a fan of the ride at all. I didn't think she was ever put in the race. A sort of race that, in a way, fell apart. Really, I'd say. Clearly wanted to keep her for this. Like you say, a lot of the horses went away in tree. If Brandy Love has improved on her runs and shows a form from, season before this, she'd take all the beating, won't she? So for me, I'll be on Brandy Love's side. Yeah,
I think the front two sort of got away, and I think she was sort of ran a little bit tentatively, as if maybe a little bit confidently. Maybe Paul Townley thought they'd come back to her, and they just didn't, and maybe she just didn't pick up enough. But there were horses stopping in front of her. She had to weave through a little bit, just a bit of a muddling run. But like you say, if she's come on for that, she might have a better chance of winning this. And I'm going to, obviously, the form beating Love Envoy at the end of last season. If she repeats anything like that, she'll go and win. So fingers crossed. Right, mate, the last race for Punchestown that I've got to look at really is the champion 4-year-old, and it's the return again of Lossiemouth, Blood Destiny, Jazzy Matty, Nusret, script writers in here as well. Zarek the Brave is back, which is a very interesting one. So, have you got a thought on this last race to finish off the Punchestown Festival?
I do, mate. I'm going to be boring again. Lossiemouth. Zarek the Brave is definitely interesting, 4 lengths behind Lossiemouth on the last run. Has it had a problem? I don't know. Surprised it hasn't run for the rest of the season up until now.
I think he did pick an injury up, I think.
Yeah, but in terms of Lossiemouth, everyone, the main question for Lossiemouth going into Cheltenham was how big an effect did, the sort of the fall in front have on it. Well, not, she got dragged back through the field, didn't she? I always says it was the crucial part. As horses were going away from her, she had to just get back up to a speed where she could stay with them. Willie clearly believed, and he voiced his opinion after that. He wasn't happy with Paul for giving her a hard ride, and then she come out of Cheltenham, hit the front easily, wandered around a bit, but won with no sweat. And I think she should, if all things are right, do the same here. What about you?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think she's going to go and win convincingly. I think the only one I'd definitely give a chance against her is Zarek the Brave. But again, it's one of them. She gets £7 off him, which is obviously, last time out, there was 4 lengths between them. It was her first run in the UK. He made a mistake at the last that sort of took a bit of steam out of him. 4 lengths, £7. It's a tough one. I just think Lossiemouth's just too good, and I think she's going to go and win. And I definitely fancy Zarek the Brave to follow her home.
Follow home, yeah, definitely.
I think that's probably going to be the 1-2, and I'd be interested in probably putting a little bit on that 1-2. So I think the rest are okay. Zenta obviously performed well, won at Aintree, but I don't think she'll back it up here. And I think Lossiemouth is going to win. I think Zarek the Brave will follow her home.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, mate, that's the Punchestown Festival and the end to the Irish Jumps racing for the season. So that's again been another fantastic season, and hopefully we've picked a few winners there in the previous episode. We're gonna have a little bit of a taster now of the what's to come, and that's obviously the Sandown Flat Friday. There's some group racing on Friday. We'll have a quick scan through this before we finish off with the Jumps finale at Sandown as well on the Saturday. But Joe, have you managed to have a quick look through the card on Friday? I'll put us on the first one, the group. 2 seconds. It was the group 3, the 225 on Friday. The group 3. You got the likes of Adia, Bay Bridge, and Matt in here. Have you had a look at this? Have you got a thought? Let's hear it.
I have, mate, and it's a very tough race. Very classy horses in here. I've landed on Anmat. Now, don't get me wrong, this horse has, in some ways a lot to find form-wise, but the last run at France, very soft, a Longchamp, 1 mile, 1 furlong and a half. strikes me, with a bit of confidence here because, we've seen the past few weeks a lot of flat meetings, a lot of strange results that not many people thought would happen because the ground was so taken. Now, especially on your first run back, for horses like, Bay Bridge and Adyar, who are, very classy operators, but always have ran on, a ground with good to soft, good to firm, good yielding if they've run in Ireland. I feel like Anmat will take the beating here, and I do really, really like Jim Crowley and these colours. And Owen Burrows, he's a very underrated trainer for me, and I do think he will take the beating. Have you managed to have a look at this one?
Yeah, I've had a little quick look, and obviously, I'm sort of diving into the trends throughout the season as we go along to see what that sort of spits out, just to give me a bit of guidance, really, in looking into what's running, what sort of horses win these races, and we've been through sort of them, and we'll put a little bit more on Twitter and on the socials about what the trends we are diving into. But sort of looking at this race, Bay Bridge sort of come out on top. Obviously, it's a couple of times it depends on the draw as well. That could sway it either way. But we went through sort of 13 trends. I won't go into them now. We'll go into them on Twitter. But Bay Bridge hit 12 out of the 13 trends before we put the draw in. So I'd be tempted to maybe side with him. I think Ryan Moore is absolutely flying at the moment. And I think that's probably my sort of selection. I've not had a massive dive into it. But if I were going to purely on, we obviously had a couple of good winners, Ottoman Fleet, a couple of good places with the trends. So I think I'd be willing to give Bay Bridge a little bit of a squeak, but it's not really a betting race for myself because it's obviously they're all short prices. It's a tough one. It's a really good Group 3 on paper looking at the horses in here. So I'm excited to see who comes out on top in this battle.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
The other one then, the 3 o'clock, which is the Group 2, which is obviously the Bet365 Sandown Mile. Let's say you win. Let's say the winner, Joe.
My Prospero. I think I'm right. This would probably be my strongest bet at this meeting. He's definitely the classy horse. Obviously, Laurel's had the reappearance run, but I'd still rate my Prospero a lot higher than this one. Light Infantry 4-1. Jamie Spencer's just a complete no-go for me. I wouldn't touch him. And then you look at the rest, and they've all got my Prospero to beat. And this would be the pick for me. I'll probably tip this one up later on the week, and I'll give a detailed sort of description on this. But just an quick overview, like we said, a little snippet. Don't want to go on too much. But my Prospero would be the pick for me in this race.
Nice, mate. Like I say, I've not really got a selection in this, so I'll go with my Prospero with you. I'll back you up on that, and I'm excited to see you.
Also, in terms of last run, form got beat by Adyar and Bay Bridge, but was by half a length. Kept on well when I thought he was going to get up. He's back down to 1 mile, but the going soft, which he'll want. It'll be a test of stamina, which he'll want. For me, this horse is the one to beat.
Nice, mate. Well, fingers crossed. The race then is the other Group 3 race, which is the classic trial, the 335, the likes of the Restinier, Continuous, Flying Honours. Have you got a selection in this? I sort of went through the trends a little bit in this race, and currently Flying Honours was sort of hitting towards the top for Buick and Appleby. So is that one that crossed your mind, or have you got another selection on it?
No, it's the one I've gone for actually, mate. Ran quite a few times, but you always notice, especially early on in the season, Godolphin target these, the sort of the big races of the day, the main races of the day. And Flying Honours looking through his form, he's got a lot of ones next to his name. He's, like you say, in terms of trends, I haven't really looked at the trends, but he's beat a lot of good horses in there, and I just think Aiden's has only had 2 runs, I believe. I think 1 run in France on very soft ground. So when you look at that, you think, well, there's probably not a lot to judge on. He could bulk up and he could be something special, but I do believe that he's got better than this in his sort of ammunition, and for that reason, I would side with the Godolphin horse.
No, love it, mate. And like I say, that's just a little bit of a snippet of the flat of what's to come. obviously we've got a lot coming up, and we are going to get really stuck into this flat season, and we are really excited for it. And we'll obviously go on a little bit about it at the end. But what we'll do is we'll go to Saturday. We haven't got much prices up for this. There is a couple of races priced up for the jumps finale at Sandown. I've got a couple of quick mentions really for it, but nothing else too excessive. But the 140, the Celebration Chase, obviously looks like a really good race now. The news that John Bond's going to run, which I'm really happy about. I'm really glad that Nicky's decided to throw him in here and give it a go, because he is a grade 1 level horse, and I think that the race at Aintree was just an easy race to win, really. And I'm really excited to see him in here. And he's only got the likes of Grenadine and Captain Guinness and Eddie Dirty, which obviously are decent horses, but I think he could, if he performs like he did the Aintree run and he gets in that sort of rhythm, I think he's going to go win around 2-1. Grenadine's probably the only one who's going to put it up to him. It'll be very interesting to see how he does stepping up into grade 1 company. Do you think he'll win, Joe?
Yeah, definitely, mate. I've always been a real fan of this one, Great, like you say, he's definitely a grade 1 horse. He deserves to be here. He deserves to be racing in these type of races. And, he got beat by El Fabiolo. It's not a disgrace. People say he didn't get in a rhythm. He didn't get, he wasn't brilliant that day. But he comes second to, a machine, really, in terms of that. And you look through, and for me, Captain Guinness shouldn't be a 4-1 shot, in a grade 1. Editor de G, ran well against Energamine. Beat Energamine, didn't he? And the other fella last time, but not great at Cheltenham. I don't think this trip. For me, John Bond should win and go and win well. I think Grenadine will swap places with John Bond, and I think John Bond will go into favourite. And for me, if I was having a bet, or if anyone is thinking of having a bet, I would have it sooner rather than later, because I think on the day he could go round in 6-1, 7-4.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get back to in. Hopefully he goes and shows us just how classy he is, and also boost the El Fabiolo form for next season.
Yeah.
So the only other race, really, the Gold Cup Grade 3 handicap chase, the 215. And again, it's one of them where a few of these are entered in a few other races, but a couple I'll give a little bit of a mention to I fancy. Obviously, Kitty's lighting here after her Scottish Grand National, and if she turns up, I'll be sort of surprised. But if she can repeat that, that'll be some absolutely unbelievable performance. You got Frodon in here again, who was obviously a grade 1 past horse who could probably do well from the front with Bryony on board. But the two I kind of like in here, and Sam was impressive last time at Ludlow, and the step up in trip to 3-4 is going to suit that one. I backed against him that day, and obviously he was very impressive in the handicap at Ludlow, so he's up £7.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
This is definitely his sort of level. He could do well here. And the only other one really I'd mention is Revels Hill. He's been running well in sort of staying handicap chases. He's got form on good ground, good to soft, so he won't mind it either way. And he can stay well. And if he gets a decent decent round of jumping, I think Revels Hill could probably go close if he runs here. But again, it's a bit muddly with the entries, with a couple entered here race. So I just thought I'd give him a bit of a mention. And have you got a thought on this race or no?
No, mate, I just had a quick look through when you were mentioning there, and I can see that, I did watch the race. Kitty's Lightning was mighty impressive. Revels Hill's actually got quite a bit of money, opened up at 12s into weights. Looks like he will run. Probably one I'd be on the right side of, out the top 6 in the market. He's, carrying 9, he's carrying less than 10 stone. Everyone else is, in the 11s or high 10s. The Goffers 10 stone 9 and Sam 10 stone 9. So for me, less than 10 stone, something you want, and got form being backed. Who knows, mate? These are all tough races to predict, aren't they?
Yeah, they are very tough, especially the last day of the season. You just don't know what's fit, what's ready, what's knackered, what's not. So it's one of them where I throw a couple of darts on it and have a bit of a good time. The only other one I will mention to finish us off is the 4 o'clock. The hurdle, the grade 2, and Time Hill back over hurdles could have a good chance in this. Obviously, I think he's the best stayer in the race, but it's back over hurdles after sort of not performing too badly over fences. So it'd be interesting to see how he gets on, and that's the really only mention I'll give. Would you like to finish us off with your nap for the second nap of Punchestown, or it could be a flat horse or Sandown? What do you want to nap, Joe, for the finish off?
My nap will be Brandy Love. And my next best will be My Prospero over at Sandown.
I love it. Well, I am going to nap the Impervious Stateman Imperial Pass treble.
Ooh.
I don't know what it pays off top of my head, but I can't see them 3 beat, to be fair, and I think they'll go and win easy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that finishes off, mate, for the jump season then. What I'm going to put on there is what is next for the Final Flight podcast. Well, that'll be the jump season all finished. We hope you enjoyed the episodes. We've certainly enjoyed talking about it, haven't we, John? I think we really can't wait now for the flat season to kick off. We'll obviously get this weekend out of the way. We'll have plenty on Twitter. Plenty on our social medias, on TikTok and things. So make sure you look at all them and like and subscribe to the channel, obviously. Next Thursday, we're going to have the Guineas weekend preview and the big flat kickoff. So I'm sure you're excited for that, Joe. We're going to have our friend Rich on as well to join us for a little bit for a few selections on the flat to kick us off. And we're going to start with a bang. Are you excited for that, Joe, to finish us off, mate?
Definitely, mate. I can't wait for the flat. I love it. You probably see me and probably James as well. You know, we're on about going to a few race days together. Sorry, I've just booked Royal Ascot, etc. So, you know, we'll definitely be getting some good stuff out. I'll be a lot more active in terms of the flat. And if you have been, you know, watching or looking closely on Twitter, you might see a little tip that's gone up already for the Guineas. So, you know, have a little look on that as well, and you know, we'll be active, very active, like you say. Just keep interacting. You know, subscribe, like, give us a comment, whatnot. We'd love to reply. We'd love to interact.
Well, that's the main thing. You know, it's all a game of opinions. We're putting our opinion out there, but through this channel, we are really enjoying it, and we love any sort of back and forth. If other people have got opinions on other horses or against us, it's great to have conversations and see what everyone else is thinking. And like I say, just always keep stakes level, keep stakes low. Don't make it too much about the money because it ruins it. We've all spoken from experience, and we like to enjoy the races, and we'll hopefully enjoy a prosperous week. And my Prospero on Friday will hopefully bolt up for Joe's now.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Right, like I say, Guineas weekend preview next Thursday, so we'll see you all for that. Thank you for following us through the jump season. Like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you all next time. Say goodbye, Joe.
Goodbye.
Right, thank you very much, and goodbye.